Welcome back to Medrash Umaisa, sharing a story for this week's Parsha, Parshas Rav Aharon and Shabbos Nachamu. Rav Aharon of Belz, who lived in Tel Aviv when he made it to Eretz Yisrael, used to come for the summers to Yerushalayim for a period of years, and there he would stay in the neighborhood of Katamon. Recently I had the privilege of meeting a gentleman whose family were the ones who hosted the Rebbe, meaning they provided him with an apartment that was part of their house, and that's where the Rebbe stayed and had his davening and all of those things when he was in Yerushalayim in the summertime. So Rav Gamliel Rabinovich Shlita said he once met a Yerushalmi Jew who said, I was a little boy, and when the Rebbe was there in the summer, I used to come to the Tish, and the Tish would be very late Friday night, because Shabbos itself was late, and the Rebbe would come out very late. So there weren't that many people there. So even though I was just a little boy, I was able to get close. The Rebbe began the Tish one week, and he gave out shirayim from the fish. It's what the Rebbe shares from the food that he has in his plate with everyone who is there. At one point, the Rebbe looked up. He often would keep his eyes down, even though he saw much more than many other people have their heads up. And he looked to see that everyone had received fish. Then he noticed me, said the man, a little boy, eating fish, and he smiled at me and he said, Yingel, little boy, gib achting von de Beiner, be careful of the bones. And then a little bit later, he again looked up and looked to me, and he said again, achting geben von de Beiner, be careful of the bones. And he said, until I finished the fish, he would look up every now and then and remind me to be careful not to swallow or choke on the bones. The man said that for the rest of my life, he said, that connection that I felt at the time, the fact that the Rebbe paid attention to me, a little boy among older Hasidim, cared about me so much to make sure that I knew that he was watching and trying to make sure that no harm would come to me. He said, every time I remember that, it gave me strength in many of the challenging times that I faced in my life. That is an expression of love. And obviously, during this time, before, during, after Tisha B'Av, when we speak about the idea of Avas Chinam instead of Sinas Chinam, we realize that expressing love is both connecting with the person, giving to the person, and also caring for the person and trying to ensure that they don't come to harm. In this week's Parsha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that He loves Am Yisrael. Me'avaso eschem, lo mirubchem, not because we were many people and He chose us because we're the nation with the greatest population. Specifically, that we are the Ma'at. We are small and we're also humble. But He chose us because He loves us. The expression of that love is also in this Parsha, in the giving of the Torah. Parshas Rav Aharon, Moshe Rabbeinu goes over the giving of the Torah that took place at Sinai, and there we find both elements. The mitzvahs, which are the positive mitzvahs, mitzvahs aseh, are, so to speak, the fish, right, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us, and the mitzvahs lo taseh, where He tells us to be careful of the bones, to make sure that we don't come from harm. Those are the negative commandments that tell us what not to do. So hopefully we'll be able to have a true nechama this year with the true outpouring of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love, with the rebuilding of Tzion and Yerushalayim, and may all those who've suffered pain have true nechama, true consolation, and may we rejoice together in the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash. Have a wonderful Shabbos.